or come on in, you know. All right. Hello, how's it going? It's awesome. What you're looking at here is a pulse motor. It's got 2 drive coils going at 12 volts a pop. (18) and 20 gauge, 22 gauge. So these 2 are driving. It's not a Bedini SSG, so there's no like output that I've hooked up. The 2 generator coils are generating the light. The 2 drive coils are of course making the motor move. The only resistance I have on the circuit is a 120 volt halogen bulb. So we're getting a lot for 12 volts. This is a 100 watt LED. It's supposed to be a 1,000 watt equivalent metal halide bulb. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll turn it up a little bit. So when you turn the light on, the wave goes into this square wave formation. Turn it off, and you get like a more sine wave. So they're trifilar coils, the drive coils, and so I've hooked, one's got 18 and 20 gauge, I've hooked them together in series with the rectifier. And that's the drive for this coil. And then I've hooked a 20 and a 22 together in this one with the rectifier. And that's the drive for that side. Altogether, we're drawing about 0.4, 400 milliamps. Alright, 15 volts in. Boom. Even in this square wave formation, we're still about 200 volts peak to peak. Now let's see what we're working at with the light off. Yep, 5 to 600 peak to peak. That's a lot of voltage. So I kind of wanted to talk today about decisions and what it takes to make a decision, like in the moment. What are some things that people go through to make a decision, and then what happens after that decision is made, the consequences of making a decision. Yeah. Not too much about it, just that, you know, it's an everyday thing. So it's not a sine wave because I didn't make it a certain way. There's no spike here because I'm not using a battery to generate. So, I mean, all it is a nice pretty wave. It looks like a bunch of ends. It's roughly 600 volts peak to peak. That's pretty awesome. So 18 volts in. Let's look at it and see if our peak has changed significantly. Yeah, wow, we're getting up to like 700. Not there yet, but probably will get up there. 670 volts. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna turn the light on. Now, I'm not sure if the mic on the camera is picking this up, but you got a tremendous load on the rotor when you turn the light on because of the way I'm generating the electricity. So that's one of the things you get is a load. But there's so much drive going into it right now that it's overcoming the load by a lot, actually. And since it's not a battery or something, it's just a light, I can turn it up. But you know, like if it's a 12 volt battery, you want to do a 12 volt system. I like the Bedini SSG circuits because you get pretty much out of them what you put into them. And that's from your drive coil. That's awesome. I think it's actually more of an interaction between your trigger coil and your drive coil. I mean, you get a resonant interaction between the two, which boosts output at least to the point where it's equal, if not greater than, which I'm pretty sure it isn't greater than, it's equal to or less than the amount of power you're getting out. And when I'm talking, when I say out, let me get it out for you. This connection right here is about, you get about with out of it what you put into it. The two orange connections right there. It's pretty cool. I mean, the amount of burst that you get from one pass of a magnet from this thing is pretty spectacular. It's way brighter than that, but it's bursting, you know? It's not solid like that is. But it's all good. It's cool. These are just little things that I picked up that I've noticed. And I found the less amount of coils that you have in a generator circuit, like this setup, is awesome. It will work every time. But I had additional coils hooked up and a bigger rotor and more magnets and everything, and it was not able to turn the light on. So I was like, I wonder, maybe it's simplicity, strength, man. Simple is better. And it can get a lot simpler than this. For sure. It might look or feel complicated, but it's really not. You got a north and a south, or you got a 180 and a 180. You got two drive coils in a 180, and you got two generator coils in a 180. These two are hooked together in series. These two are parallel. They each have their own power supply parallel. Yeah. So I don't know. I just have fun with it. I mean, there is a certain point when things just stop being fun, though. You know, and it's not about the stuff really. I mean, you know, you feel like you hear more than once that, you know, but it's just from other people. It's not like it's God telling you anything. It's just other people and their opinion. It's like, dude, could you shut up for a second? You know, maybe you'll hear something. And it's like, I would never like presume to tell anybody what they can and cannot do as long as it doesn't involve shooting somebody. That you cannot do. You know, if you're going to inflict violence and pain on somebody, you should check yourself. Just saying. If you're going to slander people, you should check yourself. If you're going to talk without having any basic, like, and I'm not talking about myself, man. I have tons and tons of data. Some of it's good, some of it's not. I mean, I literally have like 2 subscribers per video. That's my rate of like how much time I've invested in the videos. I prefer to do it this way. I prefer to do it showing you what I'm doing and walking you through step by step. Occasionally, I will draw a picture for you. Occasionally. I'm not, you know, this isn't, if I was going to encourage you to build something, it would be like a Tesla coil or a rodent coil. It wouldn't be a pulse motor. Just saying, I would encourage you to move more with the flow of what's going on. However, if you are going to build a pulse motor, I'll give you the specs for this one. We got 666, no, 1,111 turns of 10, no, 20, 22, and 32 gauge. 32 and the 20 would be the drive and the trigger, unless you wanted to hook the 22 in with the 20 and make a longer drive. So this is actually a complicated coil. It's a tri-filer. So you got options, is what I'm saying. But I've got everything hooked in series, so you get less of an amp draw from the coil. On the 180, we got an 18 gauge and a 20 gauge in series with a 32 gauge trigger, and that is also designed to, make a smaller amp draw on the power supplies. The longer wire allows that to happen. And then we got 18,000 turns of 32 gauge with the soft iron core, and 22,000 turns of 32 gauge with the iron filing core. So I filled up a tube with iron filings, and then I stuck it in there, and it works all right. It's got some magnetism to it. It's good for me. Somebody in a stream or in a video said, you need cores. And I said, okay, there you go. So that's kind of what it's like. I mean, I get the suggestion, and then it's like I put it into play, but everybody's already got an idea of what this is supposed to look like except me. I don't know. The pancake coil works good with sphericals, Mike. I've been ranting for the last 20 minutes. I didn't know you came in. My bad. Welcome. But the vortex coils, man, those are sweet. And the Tesla coils, those are sweet as well. These are all just standard radial bifilar or trifilar single file coils. Actually, it gets a lot more dense and complex than that, but on the board right now, that's what we got. Oh. Now I want to make another coil, but I don't know exactly where I'm going with it right now. So I was thinking either a three-dimensional vortex coil with maybe 20 gauge rodent coil, and then a Tesla coil. I want to make, I think he was saying a Slayer coil, something like that, with my 1.5 inch diameter tube that I got right over here. Right here. See, I don't understand why it's like, if you're, I work in the presence of fear all the time. It's like second nature to me almost. So the fact that I'm cautious about moving forward with high voltage is not a bad thing. Well, I mean, you shouldn't be drawing opinions about other people that you, seriously, and no amount of education makes that right, but everybody does it every day. I don't know, man. It's so hard to, like, choose a side, basically. Just what everybody does, is that okay, or do you stand up for what you think is okay and say, no, this isn't right? You know, I mean, what do you do? And that's called sacrifice. You know, if you feel like you need to do it and you don't do it anyway, then you've now sacrificed for the greater good, of course. All right, let me get there we go. Kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to move this over a little bit. All right. With a signal generator and a pancake coil, I can get a ball to spin pretty much indefinitely, as long as the power's on, at 12 hertz. Not in the middle though, it wouldn't work in the center like that, but it would work like this off here on the coil itself. Yeah, I might set that up later over on this other table, but that's like a lot of stuff. Anyway, I think that's cool that without it being connected to the power supply, we get a virtually 100 watts worth of energy. No, education, an educated opinion is 100% okay, but like, you know, it's like, that's not the kind of opinion I'm talking about. When somebody says it's something that's incorrect, and you know the right answer, I feel like you're obligated to say something. You know what I mean? Not the answer that a lot of people give, which is a lot of, like, you know, cryptic BS. Yeah, I have an opposing opinion, but I'm not going to tell you what it is kind of crap. You know? If you have a lesson or something to teach somebody, teach it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just beat around the bush or determine whether or not that person is worthy of you saying something. If you, no, then don't say anything at all. Yeah, I like you said one time a long time ago, Mike, you said I'm one of the first people to say I don't know. And I am also one of those people to say, you know, I don't know. Or if I'm explaining something, explain that it is a hypothesis of what it could be. Because I have no, like, factual, raw data, really. I mean, I got the tachometer. And we're moving at like 700 RPMs. And pulling the light and with additional voltage there. I mean, and then I would explain that. But of course, since I didn't have, you know, the ass end right, and this diode was facing the wrong way, and there's no resistance or load on the freaking thing, then I mean, like, then it's worthless and meaningless, and It's like, oh my God, dude. Get a wife, have some kids, shut up. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, I'm just trying to have some fun. Yeah, man. Speaking of all that jazz, I whipped this out and I was going to work on it. Put the aluminum every other slot here and then have these bad boys placed in there, every other one on a 45-degree angle. So when it would pass through the magnetic fields, you get maximum surface area on your neutrons. And it's going to move better than if you have it in the center, like every time. Oh man. I had an idea in my head and I totally lost it. The OHM law? I don't know. Mike, what makes you think I'm going to want to explain that to a child? Am I making one? Is that what it is? Am I making a UFO? It's a tabletop UFO if I'm making one. This is a counter-rotating pulse motor. And if it wasn't copper-infused PLA, it would work just fine. But it syncs up instead of counter-rotates because it's made out of copper. Oh, yeah, I have no idea, dude. Honestly, I don't know what Ohm's law is. I hear all about it, though. Resistance. I see. What happens when you remove that resistance and you don't fry your equipment? Yeah, oh my God, is right. How could he get this far and not know this? Because, man, the first jackass that came into my videos and started saying, you know, don't waste my time and our time or your time either. I'm like, dude, whatever you have to say is bullshit. I'm sorry, but you do not come across like that. I don't care how educated you are. You need to come across a different way because you just fucked everything. Oh, it has those properties though, man. Just like aluminum. Just like aluminum, bro. Yes, it does. It's not as strong, but it has the exact same properties. It's not about the resistance. It was about the way that the magnets would catch the copper as they rotated. I see. But I mean, it's really simple what happened here. I'm gonna make another base, exactly the same as this one, with the same nubby and everything, except it's gonna be made out of pure plastic, and I guarantee it will counter-rotate. Is that why the aluminum moves with the magnets? Because I know the aluminum is not magnetic, and neither is copper. But there's definitely a pull when a magnet passes that draw. They're both magnetic. Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, it's definitely a different kind of. Oh no, what do we got here? Our wave changed. Oh. Oh. That's the coil. I put the coil there and the wave changed. And it's not even hooked up to anything, man. It's kind of weird. Huh. I'm gonna reset that. Make sure that. Yeah, I apologize if I've been full on throttle with the bombs and whatever, but oh, that was it. It still doesn't make sense. It was coming unplugged, but it's still a way different wave, and it's way. It must be running out of juice. All right, but why is the meter picking up the magnetic field from the coil without it being connected? It's the meter, and the meter is not connected to the coil. Oh yeah, it is dying. It is dead. I had a feeling, but yeah, it definitely picks up a lot of stuff. I want to spin this thing. Okay. So it's an emitter and a receiver then, right? Because of this stuff will pulse a strong signal. Oh, the meter probes. I got you. Yeah. Probably because of what they're made of, right? Huh. Oh no. I'm just thinking, man. I want to spin this ball here, but I have to do it on the other table because the signal generator's over there. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do that. All right, so. I'm going to run both of my coils in series. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Oh yeah, I got it up to like 23 hertz one time. Usually catches it around 12 or 11, so I think that's pretty good. All right, here we go. All right, that's 1 Hz. That's good. All right, I think I'm gonna do 1 instead of 2 coils here. All right. Put this right here. All right. There we go. Oh. I don't know, I might need some lube. Oh man. I don't know. It spins for a little bit. Yeah, I think some graphite powder would help a lot. There it goes. Ha! It's listening to me too. Well, what do you suppose we do? Since it won't stay going. Oh man, that clip might be getting in the right here. $15 Hz, nice. 16 Hz. 17. 18. 19. Whew. 20. Oh, that's good, man. We got a wave this time. 21. 22. 24. 25. Wow. Yeah. 26. 27. 28. 29. Hell yeah. 30. It's a sine currently, sine wave. We got 30 Hertz, 5-volt amplification, 50% duty cycle, and 0 offset. But you're saying change it to a sawtooth? I don't even know if it's like really. Here's square. Pulse. Triangle. And it stopped. Oh. That looks like the most sawtooth thing probably on here. Alright, let's go. 12. let it level out a little bit. Take a little bit more time with each hertz real quick. Oh wow. $24. So we've now doubled our hertz. That's awesome. All right, here we go. Let's do some more. I'm gonna go to a square wave at 30. Square wave. Whoa. $30 Hz, 5-volt amplification. And I want to do some like musical chairs after this. $32. All right. So we'll put this in the center. We'll move this closer so we can get some acoustics. But I think this is pretty sweet. I don't know if it's gonna like, you can hear it, but we'll give it a shot. Might have to take it off of there, but I need both my hands, so. All right, that's I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna get this off of here. Yeah, oh my God. This is 10 hertz increments. I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe only when I talk you can hear it. $500 hertz. $700 hertz. 1,000 hertz. Now let's go 100 at a time. Two 2,000 hertz. 2 kilohertz. Three kilohertz. 4 kilohertz. That's a nice sound. Holy cow. All right. I thought that was pretty neat when I put the ball in the center and that sound come out of it every hertz, basically different sound. Pretty cool. I think it's neat. I like art, and I really like not having to draw inside the lines. That is like one of my passions on this earth, is to not have to do that. Wow. Wow, dude. That is so high pitch. That's unbelievable. 10,000 hertz. And this thing is like, whoo. Oh, you can hear it now. It's like rumbling because the hertz are so low. Haha. Wow. And that's awesome. Why haven't I tried to spin it in the middle yet? Because it's not going to spin in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in a pretty safe spot, at least for what I'm doing. So I feel pretty good about it. Wow. Wow. And it's up to speed in like 2.2. That's awesome. Mm. Yeah, I don't actually have a sawtooth setting on this signal generator. It's not even an option. They have hundreds almost of options. They have many options. They got a triangle one that looks kind of like a sawtooth one. The square wave works rather well with the ball though, because it doesn't like, it feels less like it's climbing uphill and more like it is. It's actually, that's exactly what's going on. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to juice that up. Because that whatever's on the meter right now is not right because it's about to die. So let me think, what can I do about that? I have another meter. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now though, I think. And it's not, we'll fix this later, but that doesn't look like fun to me. Let's see if the amps will come up. About half an amp. About 200 milliamps. That's not bad for two coils of 32 gauge, man. That's pretty good. Must be those iron cores I have in there. You always get a little bit more. If you like slide it in as you're watching the meter, you'll see it go up like more as you put it in farther. It's pretty neat. I think it's cool watching the change on a meter or something. Oh, dude. And it's cool, man. I mean, I've seen people make fantastic stuff, but if we got into how they started and what their credentials actually are, you know, I'm in the same boat, honestly. I mean, some people might take safety a little bit more seriously, which I'm starting to do very much so now, is take safety seriously. Safety and, you know, other things, but we're not so different. I mean, I mean, people would argue that I'm not soft-spoken, but I would say that I am very soft-spoken. Absolutely, man. There's so much that I don't say. There's so much. And then there's so much that I do say. I mean, and not all of it is bad. Most of the time, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And I mean, a lot of people, they just, I mean, for what they've created, thumbs up, kudos. I mean, Tesla coils are awesome. Rotor coils are awesome. Solid state devices are awesome. But yeah, man, I mean, you go, I don't even know what to say. Some people are just children when it comes to expressing themselves. I'll admit that. I'm definitely one of these people some of the time. And no, I know that it appears that I'm talking about certain people. I am not. Just random stuff that's happened this week alone has led me to question certain things. But if there's like something you think is important enough to say, don't half-ass it, man. Just say it. Because it's like you're not getting your message across if you half-ass it. And you know exactly what I'm freaking saying, man. If you got something if you think a certain way about what I do, and you half-ass say that you think you feel a certain way about what I do, you just don't. Either say it or don't say it, but don't half-ass it. And that's a life lesson right there, man. And if you feel nervous about what you're saying, it's called like accepting the consequences for your actions. A lot of people don't want to do that. That's why there's so many lawyers out there, because people don't want to. Some people shouldn't have to. And it's really unfair that the people that shouldn't have to never have enough money to buy the lawyer to get them off the hook. It's like, and then somehow it's their fault that they don't have enough money. And in an actual, very literal sense of the word, it's probably true. But the people that don't have a lot of money are living a much more harder and much more difficult life than the people that do. And they chose that for a reason. Yeah, if I said it was all planned out before you popped out, would you believe me? Yeah, man. I mean, if there's something hard in my life, it's literally because I made it that way. And I don't know what it is. I mean, controversy, man. I want to stay away from it as much as I can. I don't have an opinion, or try not to have an opinion on controversial issues. But I can't help myself with some stuff, like robots. I think robots are coming whether we want them or not. I think they're going to take over a lot of jobs. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. My brother insists that it will free up time for us to work on our ascension. It'll free up time for us to work on ourselves. If we're not working for somebody else. So it's like, but a lot of people use work or their career to identify a part of their soul. And that's wrong. I feel this way too. Like, I feel like it's important to have some sort of job or, some thing you can offer. Even if it's greeting people at the local grocery store, man. There's something you can do, and you got to contribute financially to your situation, regardless of how you feel about money. And a lot of these U's that I'm throwing out there are really I's, of course. I mean, I'm talking about me. That's the only thing I really have to go off of, because everything else is like hearsay and speculation. I mean, you can watch somebody all day and still get it wrong. You can watch somebody and what they're doing all day and still get what they were doing that day incorrect. Unless you talk to that person, literally, you have no idea what they're doing. So somebody came on the channel and said, I diffused things like this in Afghanistan. I'm like, you probably just turned out somebody's lights. It's really probably what you were doing. I don't see, but that's because I'm kind of blind to the negative side of this whole thing. I can never see how this could be used to be something that could be diffused in the first place. I don't see that when I look at it. I mean, honestly, what I see here is an ability to create light. This right here, all it's going to be able to do is generate light. It's not going to be able to run another motor. It's not going to be able to do anything but turn this light bulb on. That's what it's designed to do. That's what I made it to do. So again, I mean, that's a win-win, I would say. And there are many, 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 many moments in a person's life where they're like, should I do it or should I not? And if you even have to question that, don't do it. Just don't do it. Like this stream, I was like, let's do it. That's how I said it. I'm like, let's do it. And so here we are. Now, all the stuff that I've said, I am accountable and 100% pay the consequences for what I bring upon myself. So, I mean, if people want to go and take stuff personally, because I take a lot of things personally. So, I mean, if that's your MO to make it personal, you've already made it personal. Okay? It's personal. But you know what? That's as far as my personal is going to go with this, man. It's just a game to me. It's a hobby. I can turn on a 100-watt light bulb by spinning a magnetic disc. Yes, and that is a hobby. That is a game. It's a win-win. I just did it. I'm not trying to do anything. I've built it. It's done built. It's on, and it's moving. Try and do it. That's the one word I don't like. That's a positive word. Is you got to go out there and try and do stuff. Well, guess what? I'm not trying to do anything. And I'm not acting like I don't make mistakes, man. Half the time I come online and do a stream, my shit isn't working at all. And I got to go through that. You know, it's like, but yeah, you gotta go through that. You probably shouldn't be doing it at all. Donkey dick. Now that's something I probably shouldn't have said at all, but I mean, I said it. And it comes from the heart. what it is about the whole niche that is so particular about, you know, certain things. If I knew that they were like either trying to capture a different type of energy using the same stuff as AC and DC, then I would be more clear as to what was going on. But no, it's like we got to be as unclear as possible. And I don't know, man. Whenever I watch people argue and take opposing sides on controversial issues, I get fired up, man. I get fired up like a lot. And I want to participate, but I can't participate because I don't know shit about what's being talked about. So I need to keep my mouth shut and learn and listen and figure out as much as I can about it. But I mean, really, man, I mean, the ability to stay on topic for me, and I've noticed is more and more difficult to do, especially with exceedingly controversial issues. And yeah, and do I have a relationship with the higher power? Absolutely. How long have I had this relationship? Since before I was born. You know, this stuff, and it's not something they will take away from you. It is something you can give away, however. So you got to be really careful, because you know you can give away your stuff. You can swap your stuff with other people's stuff. You gotta be sure you want that to happen though, because it can happen without your consent. And all you got to do is live with somebody or be within proximity to somebody long enough for it to happen. And that transmutable swapping is going to happen. And it should make you stronger. It should make the person that you swapped with stronger. It's not really like you're giving it up, your talents or your gifts. You're not giving them up. You're maybe in some cases you do give them up. But it's like an honest trade. It's a swap. And this stuff I've noticed just happens. You don't have to want it to happen. You don't have. It's called like the person you're living with rubbing off on you. That is real. That is a real thing. And it all depends, man, how long you let it go for, and whether it's a good, experience or not. But they will, people that want to swap something with you will pick out a talent of yours and commend you on it because they want it. They want that to be part of their repertoire of attributes. And they admire you for having that attribute. But, and the reason I specifically know that this happens is because me and my brother and I have gone through this trade off more than one occasion, and it's happened, and I didn't want it to happen. It just happens. I'm like, bro, man, you got to go and do something with yourself now because it's just happening. And and we both kind of know and agreed that it was happening. And we didn't like, it's like, but we were needy. He was needy, I was needy. We gave each other what we needed to, meet the final battle or whatever the hell we were trying to do. But yeah, my brother is awesome, and I can't say enough good about my brother, my family, my friends. You know, people that have been there, gone out of their way to be there. I feel very fortunate that I have anybody in my life that's willing to do that for me. Oh man, it's been good though. This has been a good experience. I mean, I've had a couple instances that I wasn't too sure about, a couple people that I wasn't too sure about, and I'm worried about them now because they're not around. Either they went and they made another channel, got tired of and went and made another channel, or they're really not in a good way. So I hope everything's all right with everybody. And yeah, man, just it's kind of hurts a little bit when people that you know are having trouble, all of a sudden they disappear. So I hope everything's all good. Oh. So, I mean, if anything that I said today does not apply to you, then I'm not talking to you. Everything that I've said that's good and bad, if it applies to you, I'm definitely talking to you. You know what I'm saying? If you've done a good job, amen, brother. Good job. If you are stooping to more negative nature in life, yeah, man. And I don't know, man. Just the and yeah, in my opinion, Jesus was prejudiced. There were 13 people at the end altogether, and that's not because um, there was lack of interest. Okay, it's not because there was lack of interest. It's not because only 13 people wanted to be a part of this. And you think if he would have come back, I mean, he's in heaven now. You think if he had to come back down here that he's going to be happy about it? I don't know, man. Too much controversy for me. I would say it's definitely not going to be a good thing if he's got to come back down from where he's at. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. It's all good though. I mean, as long as he's looking after us from where he is, it's all good. I mean, he literally got nailed to a cross and killed, stabbed through the heart for us. If he has to come back for us, he's not going to be happy. I don't see why he would have to come back at all. You know, why? Makes sense to me. The object is to get to heaven, right? I mean, for people that believe religiously, the object is to get to heaven. I mean, if you want to be real radical, the object is to bring heaven to you. But no, that isn't how it works, people. yeah, I've known for like a long time that the existence itself is on many planes, not just the physical or the light plane, the matter, light, sound, it all coexists on this plane, this universe. And that's awesome. But at the same time, it's separate and different from each other and can be, what do you want to say, disassociated from each other. So, like sound, light, matter, it all can be analyzed separately from one another. And then there's like totally different like energy that exists, like a backdrop on a painting. You know, that background, you're going to paint more of that background than you're actually going to see. Okay, so that background exists on many layers of paint that are painted on top of it. Yeah. I don't know, man. You're looking to like maybe do this stuff with other people, and it happens. Other people want to do it with you too. Like they want to see what you're making, and they want to show you what they're making, and then maybe if you put it together, you make something that's cool, um, for everybody involved, and that's awesome. Um, and hopefully, I mean, something like that will be able to happen. But I don't know, man. I really, I'm stepping back from the drama. I don't appreciate it. And I might be flat and monotone and everything like that, but it's all good. It is all freaking good, man, because it's better than, screwing up with the ladder, what I was just talking about. Oh. Because I don't know. I don't know whether people are like talking about me in their streams, but it feels like they're talking about me and they're telling me that I should just chill out and stop doing this altogether. And it's like, you have no idea the wrath you are invoking. But then again, I'm a very paranoid individual and they might not even be talking about me at all. But, if you feel like I'm wasting your time, skedaddle. You can stay, but you don't have to. There's just one thing that you can't do. You can't get your time back. Doesn't matter if you build a time machine or not, you're not going to get those minutes or seconds back. And I know the average person that comes through my situation stays for about 17 seconds and moves on. Today's been a really different stream. It's been very low, and I don't know what to make of today, but it's very good. I mean, I've got a lot off my chest. I've explained this. It's pulse motor. All this is pulse motor stuff. Yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it's like made out of cement. So, yeah, hurt me. Come on, burn me. You know, knock me down. That's what I want you to do. Because I'm a, you know, seriously, that's my strength. The harder you hit me, the quicker I go down, the faster I get up. There's lots of hyperbole or whatever that go into this very theory, like the Exegol and the Sith Lord and strike me down and all this stuff, and you know Obi-Wan Kenobi, strike me down and I'll come more powerful than you could possibly imagine. But all that stuff didn't originate there. It did not originate there. And people that brought it to light, definitely had world mind. Definitely, you know, they definitely were more aware of what was going on than most people around them at the time. And yeah, I'm talking about, what's the guy's name? That's so terrible. Anyway, director, Star Wars director. This is so shameful. I can't believe I don't know the guy's name right now. Come on, there's got to be somebody out there that can't resist and just tell me what it is. George Lucas. There it is, man. Now that guy, some of the ideas that came into his head, you know, like, you can't say that it was all entirely fiction. You know, some of the things that are in there are, you know, ancient lore from, you know, just humanity in general. You see the story pop up in more than one place about how the afterlife is more powerful and free than when you're alive. It's a reoccurring theme. How do pulse motors play into all this? Well, they soothe my savage beast. They produce light, unwavering light. That is awesome. That's not pulsing virtually at all when it was on. Oh, my goodness, man. I'm going to fall over. Hope that there's nobody here to catch me. So it's like, so I really like these little 6-inch rotors that I've been building with the 4 magnets in them. They're going to go really well with my new design. And I've been talking about my magnetic sculpture. I got a mini one that I'm working on too. So it's like the rotor goes in the center here, and then little rotors go around and they step up as it goes around. And hopefully we get all of them spinning. But yeah, man, I gotta be in the mood to even do the next phase of that. It's gonna be sweet though. I'm gonna try 4 volts in. I think we're good. So I think that with the 1, 2, 3 circuit, you can actually have the voltage way lower than you can with the Bedini SG. 12 volt circuit, and this one I'm running now on 4. I think Bedini SG is awesome. It's got another output and everything, and that's great. But you know what? It's already done. It's been done. It's not something that's thrilling me. I mean, I have 2 of them now, and I'll be able to use them. But you know, I like these better. There's no resistance virtually. You have a light that's connected between the collector and the emitter, and that's all the resistance you have. So that's 5.5 volts in. Virtually no milliamps being drawn right now. I'm sure there's like 10 in between. Yep, there we go. 100 in between 110. But it's parallel draw, so there's 2 power supplies drawing 5 volts apiece and 100 milliamps apiece. I'm pretty sure it's 100 milliamps apiece, because the coils on each power supply are slightly different. And that just is the way the cookie crumbled. And if it, seriously, if any of this stuff bothered me, I would change it. When it does bother me a lot, and eventually you'll watch it change if you stick around. Like if I complain about something a lot, I will make it go away. And I would never walk around like my shit doesn't stink. I'm sick and tired of people judging somebody because they're walking around with a small amount of confidence. It's like, DD, brother. And if you were here earlier, you know what DD stands for. I see my boy Zoe, when I lived up north, he made this song called Suck a Dee. It was terrible. It was the most just raunchy song I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, why did you show me that? but it's like the most offensive way to say, like you don't have the right. It's like it's basically, I don't even know, man. I don't roast people like that. That was like a really awesome song. Oh, I'm gonna turn the light on real quick. Yeah, we're gonna leave the light on for you. Oh, what's going on? Oh, okay. So at 5 volts in, 5.5 volts in, it's not fast enough to light the light. That's what's going on. And it's based entirely on the speed in which these magnets cross those coils. So I'm gonna put it on 9. I feel like it should have been on though, you know, even at low voltage. But there's your proof. Haha. And it's like, well, you didn't put the resistor on there. I'm like, dude, the light is lit. Why would I mess with this any other way? It's working. It is so working right now, and there's just why change it if it's working? Because when you plug this light into the wall, it consumes 120 AC volts at 60 hertz. Okay? Right now, we're definitely generating at least that much on the peak to peak. And it's totally AC. There's no bridge rectifier, full bridge rectifier. There's nothing rectifying it. It's AC electricity. It's cool though. It works. Oh, it's awesome, man. I'm happy that you guys are here. I will continue though, and it might be. Oh, it's good. It's good. I was gonna say it might be, kind of sad to watch, but I don't think so. I think this is awesome. I think having this few interested people is, worth way more than having a billion people come and go and not really care, or like I was here by accident, or give me my 60 seconds back, all this crap. But I mean, and it's sad though, man. A lot of that stuff is very personable. So what I'm saying is, this is normally how these people behave. It's part of their personality. So I gotta be careful not to make sure that the intent is what it is and not what it isn't, because falsely accusing people of doing stuff is just as bad as, I would say accusing somebody without Yeah. This isn't even my field, man. I'm just. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very straightforward, and it maybe comes off as brash behavior and like all this. I'm just basically straightforward. And I think pulse motors are awesome. I think the fact that I can spin this disc without touching it, virtually and literally, without touching it, is freaking awesome. It's a DC brushless motor, and I think the fact that it's spinning without anything touching it is freaking awesome. Now, I don't think that, I think it's been like done to death, so the thrill of it being cool just isn't there anymore, but it's there for me. Always, man. And it's simple. It's so simple to set this up once you know what's what. And seriously, there are just some like 101 stuff real quick. You got the base, the collector, and the emitter on your standard NPN. So it's before Christ existed. Right? Base, collector, emitter. Okay, so you got one connection that's connected to, from the base to the positive end of your trigger coil. And the negative end of your trigger coil is connected to the emitter. And then one end of the collector is connected to this light, and the other end of the light is connected to the emitter. So now we have one for the base, one for the collector, and two for the emitter. And then from the power supply, we're going to go to the collector. So that's two on the collector, one on the base, two on the collector, and then on the emitter, we're going to go from the positive end of the coil and the negative end of the trigger coil. So we're going to end up with 3 on the emitter, 2 on the collector, and 1 on the base. And that is going to encompass your light, all your connections, and you're going to have your little circuit right there. And the only resistance is the light. And you get a lot. It's 120 volt incandescent halogen bulb. So it's a lot of resistance. And they get really lit up, they get hot. But of course, you can hook it up anyway, but I got lucked out with the collector, the base, the collector, and the emitter being in the order that they were for the pinout, because then I could just shove it in this thing and it would be in order down here on the bottom. Kind of like a pipe, a musical instrument, 1, 2, 3. And it works really, really good. And it doesn't have the high pitch harmonics of the Bedini SSG circuits do. very different. So 10 volts in. You can see the light. Well, maybe you can't see it, but the light is definitely starting to light up. There's one light for each circuit. You got the same one going on over there, except it's a different type of transistor. Sweet, man. It's so quiet, and it's like it's a great build. It's like a cross or a plus. I would say it's more like a Celtic cross. If you've got the aerial view, yeah, let's do that. Hopefully I don't make anybody throw up when I do this. Yeah, and it's artistic, man. It's autistic, it's artistic, it's all of the above, man. It's great. Because you got your 180-degree drive and then you got your 180-degree gen, and it works. It works really good. All right, so yeah, here's the halogen bulb that I've been talking about. So 5,000 divided by 4 is going to be about a little under 1,200 RPMs right now. See, we don't need a bunch though. Look at the light, man. It's all bright and everything. And it does take about 70 volts just to turn it on. All right, now we're at 19 volts in now. See, and I don't understand, man. What's wrong with cranking up the voltage? I mean, if your system is designed for that to happen, what's the problem with that? Definitely some heat there. In the light bulb, of course. There's one drive. And then here's the second drive. Woo. That is going fast. That is so cool, man. And then that light will continue to increase in its brightness to its threshold as long as you keep increasing the speed. And then got my little setup over here. We're running it through this transistor. The same configuration though, 1, 2, 3. And when I place the magnet in the middle like that, oh man, like every 10 hertz is like a crisp differentiation between the last 10 hertz in its acoustic capabilities. So I mean, like, it'll beep and then it'll beep at a higher frequency, of course, and so on and so forth. But you can hear it very well on my end. You can hear it very well. I don't know if the phone speaker picks it up, but it is phenomenal. But yeah, I can get it to go at 0.5 volt, but it likes to run at right around 2.5 volts when I make it spin. And then you got to put it, yeah, it's too much of the magnetic stuff. You got to put it on the coil like that, and it'll spin a lot better. There's something about the middle that it doesn't want to spin there. But when you put it in the middle, the harmonics get like super loud, and this whole thing like starts pulsing in that tone. It's freaking awesome. It's just too bad I don't know if you guys can hear it. I think when I talk and then the mic opens up and you can hear it in the background, but I don't think it'll open the mic itself. So and then here's the centerpiece for the magnetic sculpture. It's going to be all on 10 millimeter poles. Those are highly magnetic chrome steel. Spins very well, especially for 10 millimeters. That's great. So I think I'm gonna add the next disc to the magnetic. I don't know. All right. Let's check it out and make sure that everything over here is all right. Let's give this a shot. Mm-hmm. Wow. Can you hear that hum? It's just switched up. Wow. Wow, dude. Ooh. I'm just trying to open the mic so you can hear it. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Wow. 1,500. Whew. That's 1 hertz. It really wants to move. It's moving the disc in the middle too. That's how good those bearings are. Gotta turn the input voltage up a little bit. Heck yeah, we got it. All right, let's apply some speed to it. $18, $19, $20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's 30. That's moving really fast now. That's quite a clip. That is so neat. Can't even really tell it's moving, but you can hear it. $35 hertz. $40 hertz. 45 hertz. 50 hertz. That was so freaking awesome. Oh boy, 50 hertz, man. That's a good. That was a good speed. I don't know, man. We could probably make it go way higher than that if we wanted to. But I needed to incorporate some safety here before we do that. Oh man, that was so fun. I got my mind off of all the stuff. God, that was great. I was so focused on making it go higher, the hertz and everything. It was awesome. Mm. And that's awesome. I mean, just the smaller disc, it's got so much more pickup. So it's going fast, like sooner than any other one that I've got right now. It's perfect design, I think. For the dimensions of my table and everything else, man, this is it right here. You gotta factor it all in though. It can't just be something that doesn't belong on the table. So that'll do. That'll work. Yeah. Pulse motor mayhem. You never know what's gonna happen on the show. We could have catastrophic failures. We could have epic success. We could have, controversy sometimes. Not really, but I mean there are issues that I consider religion to be one of those issues. I really don't have an opinion myself. I'm not a religious person. I don't read really. If I have any prejudice at all, it's against the written word, and I don't know why. But I feel like a deep rooted disgust of the written word. I don't even know anymore. So who knows? Maybe I could start reading in the near future. I mean, I read some books when I was younger. I half-assed read Lord of the Rings. And this one novel called Somewhere in Time. It was about a 60-page novel. I read it in a night. I'm like, yeah, that was good. If that's what reading is all about, that's great. That was a good book. It was awesome, you know. But yeah, I never really liked reading. I didn't learn from reading. Everybody kind of writes a different way. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who's like, because to write something down. I mean, they like to teach you that anybody can do it, but it's just not the case, man. I mean, I write stuff down and I want to erase it as quickly as possible because although it is a representation of what I'm doing, it's not. It wouldn't float the boat, man. It's not. The standards aren't there. So I don't know. Honestly, I think that in order to even be a writer, you need to know how to write. And a lot of people would argue against that and be like, no, you can be whoever you want to be and know how to write. And I'm like, I have to agree with that. You can be whoever you want to be and know how to write. But the knowing how to write part is kind of essential. So it's not about like a fiction novel or a novel even of any kind, really. It's not about that. It's about being able to write down a message and have 60 different people get the same message. Then you know how to write. And it's not like they can't, it's not like there's not going to be questions. It's not like a cure-all, but I mean, the more people that you can reach with what you write would, in my mind, entail how good you were at writing. And that's probably a good assessment. I love this thing, man. It's quiet, it's simple, it's pulse motor. Yeah. It's all right. I usually have a lot more to do. But I'm cool not having a bunch of stuff to do. And it works, and it's on, and it's simple, and I can just say, hey man, look, we turn the light on, we can turn the light off. We're putting in 10 volts parallel into each one of our coils. Now we're going to get in like a boost of speed. That 6-inch disc is 100% infill. There's still not much plastic holding them in there though. I want to hook up the big one, but I know that when I do that, the table's going to shake a lot, and I don't want that, so. All right. So there's very little material here keeping the edge from opening up, but it is 100% infill, so I don't know about that. But I mean, this is the most effective way to build it for the magnetism. This is like on the utmost edge that it can be on without being, it's like 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little less. And then it's like 100% all the way around. It's Arcadium. So it's like a record player. All of it is. I made it for all aspects of the print. Be it in circular motion. So here's the second thing for rotor for my sculpture over on the other table. Pretty cool. I don't know, I like the design. But I mean, if I wanted to save on material, it would be more like a, you know, like a cross, like that. And then you could get like really in between, like, actually that, I might actually do that. I just got to be sure that's what I want to do, and then I'll do that. Make it like 4 spokes, basically. Yeah, man, that's gonna be awesome. And then I could do hallback array, and then like it'll get right in there, and it'll really push it. Well, that's gonna be smooth. Well, you talk it out and you get it done. All right, I think I'm gonna take it easy for now, guys. It's been a blast. Thanks for hanging out, listening to me rant and rave. Appreciate it. All right. Bye now.